Okay, major trades happening right now in the NFL. Myles Garrett to the Rams. A.J. Brown now confirmed to the Patriots, what we've known for kind of a while. I'll get to both. I will start with the more surprising, probably bigger, more seismic one. Myles Garrett to the Rams in exchange for next year's first from the Browns. The year after that's second, and the year after that's third. So it's another typical, the Rams are giving it all away for right now. But also kind of not, right? Because they took that extra first-round pick this year, traded one for McDuffie, drafted a quarterback with the other. And the rest of their roster, despite the fact they did also put Jared Verse in this trade, one of their best young players, their roster isn't that old outside of Stafford. So they've really found an excellent way to go all in for this last year with Matt Stafford, but also set themselves up for the future, right? Because Myles Garrett's got a lot of good years left, I would say. He's dominated for so long. He has shown zero signs of slowing down, maybe longer seasons, more important games. Could add some miles, no pun intended, to him. But I can't help but love this move for the Rams, expressly because when a player like Myles Garrett is available, a guy who's probably like a top 2 player in the league, just go get him, man. Just go get him. And let the pieces fall where they may after that. With Les Snead as the general manager, with McVay as the coach, I think they've been involved in half of the major blockbuster trades in the last decade. When you look at, Stafford for Goff, maybe the most impactful quarterback trade there's ever been. Jalen Ramsey, the Odell Beckham trade was huge at the time. They got Von Miller that same season. Like, they go out and they go get stars in a league where it is hard to go out and trade for stars. Hard enough to draft them, to trade for them. Guys end up just kind of staying put in the NFL, and they went and got Myles Garrett, and they are clearly Super Bowl favorites to me as a result of that. The loss of Verse hurts about as little as losing a guy like that can possibly hurt when you're replacing him with Myles Garrett. So, Rams fans, few of them though they may be, they should feel totally fine because you're getting the best pass rusher in football. Brown side of it, probably did the right thing, right? You're getting a good amount of picks back, probably could have gotten more. Got to get the picks, got to tank again for the millionth time. The thing about, I think you'd be more excited if you're a Browns fan if you trusted your team to properly execute a tank ever, but when has that ever happened? And also, if you're a Browns fan today, you're probably just inconsolable because you lost a franchise legend. Maybe the best player, probably the best player outside of him and Joe Thomas, the best player they've had since Otto Graham. So, tough one, I would say, for the Browns fans. Irregardless of whether it's right for the team or not, it just hurts on a personal level. Dude, the Eagles lost A.J. Brown today. I'm going to talk about that in a second. The Eagles lost A.J. Brown today. I am sad about it. It was the right move to get off of him and trade him, and they got back a good return. But just losing a franchise legend like that, and Myles Garrett is much more of a legend to Cleveland than A.J. is to Philly, that hurts if you're a fan. So I empathize in that sense. I'm sure there'll be some people out there who are like, this is an oversight by the Rams, and they should be, more building toward the future. I hate that. Looking toward the future discourse. I know it's great to accumulate picks and that kind of thing. There's nothing reckless about this. There are reckless things, when you see multiple firsts get given away. Even for Max Crosby, that seemed like a reckless trade before Ravens hit the Raiders with a take-these-backsies. It's such a guarantee that Myles is going to be the guy. It's Parsons last year was a heavier price, but you immediately got great football out of him, and that's what matters, dude. That's worth shipping out the picks for. This Rams defense is unreal. They didn't really need him. They have such an unbelievable front already. But this feels like just when Stafford's gone, and they'll be an in-between year, and we'll see what happens with Simpson. Who knows if it'll be good or bad. They want to, Les Snead, Sean McVay, lay their head on the pillow at night and say, we gave it everything we had at the end here. And this is, I think, the best roster in the league in terms of top-end talent. It was already a really deep roster at that. Yeah, I think it's a home run for the Rams, to be honest, giving away the picks. They have a pedigree of giving away picks and still being able to sustain something. So I think it's going to be a fascinating watch, and it's going to be freaking showtime in LA next season, as if it wasn't already. And the Browns, dang, whatever. What else do you want us to say? You got picks back. You lost your franchise legend. You got Verse, which is cool. Yeah, that's all I got. The Eagles confirmed traded A.J. Brown. I think I gave like really all of my thoughts on this back in like February when I predicted actually he'd be going to the Chargers because I thought the Patriots stuff had cooled off. I think AJ still got plenty good football left. There's in Philly media, I think a lot of people think he's played his last great football. I think he just wasn't in it that much mentally this year. So I think the Patriots got a really good asset in this. He hasn't yet turned 30. The Eagles, however, have done really well here. Once you accept that maybe the best receiver in franchise history wants to leave, it was a long, winding saga, kind of upended by the certain scandal that occurred in the NFL media not too long ago. I think Howie played this one very well, considering that everyone knew it was going to happen. Pretty much everyone knew. It was like an open secret. AJ wants to leave. AJ's kind of sick of things in Philly. And to have all that leverage against you and still, get a first plus back for AJ Brown, which is more than what they traded for him when he was about to hit his prime, plus not get held ransom in the draft in order to trade up and get Mekhi Lemon, be able to play the cards close to the vest in that sense. That's just really good stuff from Howie Roseman. So we're really just celebrating two GMs today in Les Snead and Howie Roseman. For the Patriots, it's good. It's great because AJ Brown, I think on his day, is one of the 5 best receivers in the league. Ask me a year ago, I would have said 3 best. But that's on his day and when he's getting the ball, and I think now they're going to give him the ball. And he was a franchise-changing, offense-changing player for the Eagles. He is forever a legend in my mind. I will only look back at the good times. I saw some of his best career games live. AJ Brown, he's the man. And I loved every second of being lucky enough to root for him to be the number 1 receiver on my team. Yeah, like I said in that video back in February, he took the Eagles. He came to the Eagles and they elevated as a result of his signing for so many reasons to the next level, to contender status. Dude, he's a Super Bowl champion. He caught touchdowns in both Super Bowls. He's a legend. Some people will be bitter. I'm not bitter about it. He wanted to leave. Maybe him and Jalen aren't cool anymore. I don't know. His wedding was getting coverage. That was so weird. But Patriots, I said at some point in this offseason, Patriots are going to have to get better to move sideways next year. I don't think the AFC is going to be even close to as easy as it was this year, just straight up. I thought with the seasons from hell, the Ravens, Chiefs, had Bills, gave one away against Denver. I don't think Denver's going to be as good next year either. It was just a weird year in the AFC, and I think the Patriots benefited a lot from that. And this is what you want. You've got the coach. You've got the quarterback. Get him a reliable outside pass catcher, guy who just shreds man coverage for a living. You're going to get him, I think, probably very motivated. AJ is someone who he's an emotional player, and he thrives off of being doubted in that sense. And I think he'll probably be great with Drake May. We'll see for how many years. We'll see what kind of miles he's added up. But he's a true number 1, and the Patriots badly needed a true number 1. The Eagles will move in a new direction. Obviously, a new offense, a lot more under center stuff. Very different receiver in Mekhi Lemon being drafted. Devontae Smith becomes your number 1 pass catcher, which he is more than capable of. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I think he's underrated. And he probably would have some astronomical numbers had he not been playing behind A.J. Brown for a couple years now. But I thought he kind of stepped up as the number 1 in a lot of spots last year, despite AJ's great end to the season. And yeah, I'm glad this saga is officially over. I am. But it might not hit until training camp that the Eagles lost, again, a guy who I think is probably the best receiver in franchise history. I think if you look at longevity, it's Harold Carmichael was so great for so long. I believe retired as the NFL's all-time leading receiver. And then if you look at 1-year peak, maybe it's Terrell Owens' one great year before he was traded the next year, or let go the next year by Andy. AJ's somewhere in between that, where he just gave you 4 really strong years and also left some on the table. The Eagles left some on the table. Who knows what would have happened, but team-wise, it probably couldn't have gone any better as far as playoffs all 4 years, 2 Super Bowl trips, 1 win. Yeah, he wasn't the focal point, but he was still great, put up great numbers. Could put up even better numbers, probably should put up even better numbers in that McDaniels offense with Drake May. So, look, I'm happy for AJ. I'm happy about the Eagles' return that they got first rounder 2 years from now, and some fifths on top of that. Good stuff from Howie Roseman. Taking inevitability and still like getting something out of it is not easy. So he deserves a lot of credit. A crazy day. The NFL holding us down until the NBA Finals, and then they'll hold us down until the World Cup. A lot coming on the channel. Me and my buddy Luke just recorded a podcast previewing the finals. Go check that out on his channel. Anyway, the NFL loves to remind us that they can still be a block, despite a lot of great sports happening right now. We're so lucky to be fans in this moment. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.